Good evening and welcome. So it's gonna be a shorter stream today because, yeah, you can hear it. I'm not really running 100%, if I ever am. Certainly This weekend I've been trying to go out to the events that I had planned, but skipped a few of them. And Silver Season with a 300 stream streak, that is a monumental achievement. Awesome. And I've been sort of mentally feeling that there's been like a little red battery blinking in the corner all weekend, so just not having energy for anything. The most terrible plague of all. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's not even... I'm sorry. I don't even know if it's the man flu. It's just been sort of lingering over the last week, and then just as I think I'm okay, then it kind of comes back. And yeah, yesterday I just couldn't speak, and yeah, it just sucked. So we'll see. But I didn't want to cancel outright because I don't have so many streams, so I don't want to be canceling if there's any way that I can make it. So we'll do a short stream and then see if we can get something done in Factorio, no less, and then we'll see. So it'll probably be around 10 or something, maybe earlier if my voice collapses completely. Right, let's talk a little bit about next week, because there are two big things coming next week. That is, of course, Timberborn, and it is Captain of Industry. I can't remember when Captain of Industry officially comes out. But the fact that I can't remember it also says a lot. March 9th. Okay, so that's actually tomorrow. While it does look nice and all. Yeah. I think I had this conversation before, but I think I'll reiterate it mainly for myself. So basically, I think there's gonna be some hype generally about Timberborn, and especially because Timberborn adds automation. So that means it's not just gonna be another Timberborn playthrough, but it's gonna lure some people in who are sort of the fanatics. I don't play early access games or just anything, right? So there'll be some activity around Timberborn because it's there. There won't be any. I know I'm talking sort of generally interest outside of sort of the niche of these kind of games. While I don't think Captain Industry will reignite the interest of people who have already been interested in Captain Industry, but I don't think it's going to move the needle on getting new people to play it. When it comes out in 1.0, yes, then I think that makes sense. But I don't think Update 4 is going to do anything that Update 3 didn't do. And, well, Update 3 was actually kind of successful in doing that because it was trains, and people like trains. I just, I really want to play Captain Industry as well. But I just don't see a particular hype about it. Or more likely, I don't see much difference between me playing it tomorrow or me playing it in a month's time or 2 months. And so I think that I won't be able to cover both of those games, at least not properly. And therefore, I have to make some kind of choice, and therefore the choice is that I'm going to be covering Timberborn instead of Captain of Industry. Because, well, with the automation, there's also something new and exciting to play. So, thoughts on this? Like to hear it. The other... and then Shapes 2 coming out in 1.0, actually in April. It's a little bit surprising that it's 1.0 and not just a content update, but I guess that they're kind of like, yeah, let's call it done. I think that's, I think it's also a good move to not be sort of stuck in early access and then keep making the game bigger. And maybe I can hope that there's also lost my train of thought. It goes quickly because I was reading your message, Anonymous. Sad because I love Captain Industry, but Timberborn is a smart choice. I also think I think they're both going to be fun, but I think that the commitment to Captain Industry is going to be bigger, and on the other hand, I also know that it's probably going to be more lucrative for me, even though there's going to be less YouTube views. Not that that matters much, but there'll be sort of, if I make blueprints, then those could be something that could entice patrons and stuff like that, which is, you know, the main source of income. And in terms of sort of coverage here on Twitch, I think they're going to be, I don't know, equally likely to generate interest. So, yeah, I can't remember what I was talking about with before. That's completely gone. So that's the thing. Yeah, yeah, but oh yeah, the shapes too. Yeah. So I was thinking, maybe the reason why they want to sort of wrap up the development is because, well, the game is not going to get much bigger than that, and it's sort of polished and fully fleshed out. And not every game has to do everything. You can say a game such as Oxygen Not Included, like that's been in early access for way too long. Like that game has grown way out of proportion, and and it's just kind of it's so impossibly complicated that it doesn't make sense. I think Valheim as well is an example of just it has grown so much that it's just become too big of a game, too much bloat because they keep adding towards the end of it, and that means you'll never really get to see all of it because it's such a drag to go all the way through the game. And because they don't sort of keep streamlining it, they just tag more stuff to the end, which is also what they kind of did with that Oxygen Not Included. And yeah, then I don't think it's gonna be that interesting. So maybe that's just time to sort of wrap up Shapes 2 and then start a new project, which I hope there will be a new project because I think they really got a good development style going. Captain Industry, I also think, like, for example, Captain Industry, I distinctly dislike games that are in early access and have DLC. That does not make sense to me. And I kind of understand that they sort of stumbled into it with Captain Industry, that they made this huge feature and they was like, this kind of sucks that we made this huge feature and didn't sort of do that as a way. Oxygen Not Included is not early access. No, but it was for 7 years or 8 years or something. And it got way too bloated. But I think Captain Industry, the fact that they sort of... I can see that they added trains as a DLC, but you kind of, in my opinion, you have to sort of wrap up the game and say, this is 1.0, and then here's the DLC. Not sort of, we're still in early access, and here's some train stuff, and now there's a DLC for more train stuff. Like, I don't get it. So any feature after that, they have to choose whether that's part of the DLC or it's part of the normal development. I think it's a weird choice, and I think they might have sort of accidentally stumbled into that choice and not sort of deliberately planned it out ahead of time. That's just my thought. Yeah, because it's just called Update 4. It's not called Release. It's just called Update 4 Release Date, not 1.0 Release. And I think that with the stuff that they're adding to Captain Industry and the screenshots they're sharing, looks amazing. I don't know if that's something that's realistic to build. So, yeah. To call a game full release because then people are allowed to criticize the bugs. Well, I don't really care what it is. If you charge money for it, I expect it to be functional. If it's a free demo, pre-something release demo, then that's fine, and it's free, and you can play it for the weekend. Cool, it can be buggy. But if you put it on Steam, I don't care what you call it. It's a game and you charge money for it. Doesn't matter. I will not let anyone hide behind it, but it's early access. But we are just two guys, like, yeah, but then manage your expectations. Whatever it is. I'm not saying that's about Captain Industry. I think it was really good when it launched. It was, like, tight in its scope, and it should be. But I really don't... I really don't think that is an excuse. You can say, for example, something like Blueprints was like 7 years in development before it hit Steam. That means that most of us never heard about it before it sort of got all the rage on Steam. But that's one guy, basically one guy. And so he spent the time on making sure that by the time it hit Steam, it was polished and ready and crisp and... yeah, so that's a choice you take instead of just launching some crap that's broken and then you get flooded with thousands of people reporting the same bug again and again. Because if something we know, if we work in software development, it fucking sucks to get the same bug reported multiple times because you don't know if it's the same one. And you gotta investigate and find, yep, it's the same one. We already know it. We already got it. Yes. And yeah. So you want to catch all that shit before. And that was Blueprints was a really ambitious project as well. And I'm not saying everything can be to that level. And it's also perfectly fine to do stuff like what game is Manflu? No game. It's not a very fun game. It's definitely a punishing game. Spending 7 years of reason and nobody knows. I know, I know, but that was more. This was a passion project, and I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but you have to manage your risk and figure out where you want to go. I think is I like bringing this up because I think it's an awful game. Astro Colony is an example of a solo development game that was way too ambitious, like way too ambitious, and therefore when it launched it was such a buggy mess that it was completely unplayable. And I was like, the one good decision that was that they did was get a sponsor by did a sponsored video with Let's Game It Out, which that in itself, that didn't mean how shit the game was. It got tons of people buying it, which is crazy. So even though that just highlighted how awful the game was. So I think that the game has had potential. There was a good idea, but there was definitely something like the whole idea of being a solo developer and then having 3D rendered characters move around in your world is like, are you fucking insane? Like, why would you do that? You have a game that works fine as a single player. You move around the camera. You don't have to render physical bodies that interact with gravity and collisions and all that shit. But no, let's do that. And which meant that when they jumped on their shuttle and left, their head stayed behind. It was grotesque. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that shit. Yeah, so, you know, it's a balance, right? You can also do the Microtopia part where the game was fully fleshed out, and then once we got it in our hands, it was just not really easy to play. And I think Desynced is the same thing. They also... I love the idea of Desynced. I hate the implementation of it. As I talked with the moderator team about, like... I tried making a separate video this weekend, or at least sort of tried preparing for the video and just seeing it. And I started building something like a little chain and sort of a little unit build, and it worked fine. Cool. Then we do this exact same thing for another product, and then it started looping. It started sort of bouncing things back and forth, and I was like, and I checked. Okay, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same. It's just a different product. Why does it one work consistently with a continuous flow and the other one sort of has this loop where it goes back and forth? I couldn't figure out, so I built it again, and it started looping. Then I took the one that was looping and tore it down and built it again. It's still looping. And took the one that was didn't loop and tore it down, building it, and then it was looping. I was like, what the hell? Then I took the other one, and suddenly that was not looping. I was like, I can't deal with a game like that. I cannot deal with a game that is so inconsistent. And because then what happens in a case like this is that then I'm thinking, I wonder if other things that I have tried that didn't succeed, I should just have tried again and I would have gotten a different result. And then just my brain just melts. I mean, like, I refuse to play games where there's a loot box mechanic, whether a function works or not. And I don't know why. And I tried different things, like the order you build, the order you assign. Like, there must be like some kind of hidden parameter that dictates in the sequence of which operation was handled first. And if the one operation was handled first, then it worked. If the other operation was handled first, then it looped. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, you know what? This is not how I should have spent 2 hours. I should have spent it on doing design work and preparing for a YouTube video so I could showcase some cool designs. And instead I spent it on trying to figure out what hidden mechanic governed the order by which internal functions were executed. I was like, nope, wash my hands of this, I'm out. And that's, I think, the biggest problem with that game. And it's such a shame because it's a really fun and innovative and interesting game that has so many cool features. So yeah, but you know, we are gonna dive into Timberborn this next week, and I think that's gonna be interesting. There's also another thing that we could try. Apparently, all the rage is Slay the Spire 2. Anyone played it? I watched a little bit of it, and I still think it looks awful, and I don't know what happened. Why does it have to look so awful? And people who play it, they're enthusiastic. Have an unhealthy amount of it, yeah. And I can definitely see that the gameplay loop is really engaging. I still think I prefer Monster Train as that kind of. It's basically the same kind of game. The mechanics are different, but they're sort of the same kind of find some mechanic and abuse it so that you can exponentially scale, and then you'll beat it. So, oh, definitely visually awful, not mechanically awful. Mechanically, it's about as good as it gets. Like how well the functions interact with each other. I still prefer Monster Train. But I can definitely see how cool it is that you're sort of like, oh yeah, I can, oh this one, and then if I exhaust it, then it comes back, and then I actually automatically play it, and then this stacks onto that one. It's like, ah, cool, and then things just mesh together into a really well-functioning deck that does magical things that you didn't even think of. That's super awesome. But the characters, they look like, I don't know, they look like someone's nephew drew them, and that's all good if it was, but I don't think it is. In the first thing, it was cute to have these MS Paint placeholder art at something. But, I don't know. It seems weird to me. It seems weird. You ever play Big Ambitions that any good? I don't know what Big Ambitions is, so no. Sorry. Ugh. Man flu. Yeah, we don't have a man flu command, but maybe we should. He may not make it, so enjoy the time you have. So, let's jump into a little bit of Factorio today, so we get it before I completely crash. How's the data DSP? Any news? Nope. The news is that there won't be any news in 2026. That's basically it. So I might play Dyson Sphere at some point in 2026 if there's nothing else, and I sort of want to do some crisp designs in preparation for the next release. But I think it would be better not to. I think that if I was sort of having a drought and I wanted to play a factory game, then I think I would play Satisfactory instead, because there's no horizon for anything new on Satisfactory, and therefore I'm gonna be sort of in the DSP drought a little bit more. So cool, let's jump on into this one. Oh yeah. I'm also curious about this. Any of the moderators know, maybe Factor Musculature, maybe you know, did the new Hype Train tracker get installed on production, or is it still in testing? Not that we're seeing much traction on that anyway, but code's been written but not pushed nor tested. Oh, what? Are you seriously saying that you're going to test before deploying to production? That's odd. Don't know what that means. Could be fun, maybe a new theme like a big pyramid design. Yeah, I think that if I was gonna do a new Satisfactory run, it would be a tower build, because they've added the splitters on the vertical lift. So they've added a few things that are focused on verticality. We don't test in production here. That's also weird. I'm also surprised. It's a tracker, so who cares? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But anyway, there has to be events for it to actually track something. Yeah, so what this is the latest masterclass that I just released last week, I think. So this is basically an infinite supply of what was it? Of legendary steel and definitely legendary copper. So much legendary copper that we just throw it out. And this one's just gonna get here. Let's concentrate a flat boss base. Exactly. That's also what. That's also what I think it was. It would have to be something that's sort of noticeably different. And I don't know. The problem with the tower base is that you have to decide the floor plan or floor print in the beginning, and then you're kind of locked into that. And there will be some things you need a lot of space for, and some things you need more space. So need less space. So it's really difficult to figure out, because you make it too big, then most levels are just going to be empty. Or if you make it too small, then some levels will just be overcrowded. And it's just almost impossible to figure out what's the right size and shape of a tower, because you have to decide it up front. We had the same thing with the pyramid. Like, the pyramid was way too big, and then I wanted to bring trains in, and then it was way too small. And I was like, damn it. So, yeah. We'll also look at this one. Is probably going to be the next one. What we should do today is, well, maybe that's more a question for you. What should we do today? What would be the next logical step for our quest for doing master classes here? We have this. Where is it? This one. Inverted pyramid sounds like the inverted pyramid is actually something you can do. Something you can do in Satisfactory, because you don't really care. Should be a fun design challenge. Yeah, I hope so. It could also just be each floor is as big as it needs to be, and then it'll look ugly as fuck. But whatever. Then it doesn't want to really be a tower. Then it'll be like I don't know. What? Legendary Production 3 was not finished? Well, the idea was finished, but it's not it. Where is it? I think it looks finished to me. The one thing that was sort of up in the air was whether this should be part of it. Because I still haven't really decided that. Nope, no Captain of Industry tomorrow. There will be Timberborn tomorrow, not Captain of Industry. So, I do have a question. Does Masterclass have a build for Legendary Plastic using the Space Casino coal? Or is this recommended simply? I mean, I have not built one because it's really simple. You just put your legendary coal in here and some petroleum gas, and then you get your legendary plastic. So I really didn't bother with that. Yeah, simple. You can either recycle the red chips if you need plastic, but then again, we should also just ask ourselves, what exactly do we need the plastic for? That's already taken care of. That's already taken care of. This one, yes. In Legendary, we'll probably upcycle it anyway. And none of these. So we don't really need plastic. Like, there's nothing really we need plastic for as itself. What's your plan after Factorio, after Masterclass? Based on the book series, or move on? When 2.1 comes out, we're going to do a base in the book for base in the book for Factorio, and after that, I don't know. we'll see. And Masterclass will continue as long as there's something that needs coverage. And it'll might be more abstract things later on. There's one that about the biter logistics, which I think is something we'd want to do today. So yeah. So this thing here works for making legendary quality modules here, and it's generating a decent amount. It's pretty good. This one could be made here, or it can be made on Navis. If we make it on Navis, then we have to sort of think about what is it we are bringing in. Do you have a date? No, we have not a date. The only thing we know is that they released a Friday Factorio fact in November or something, where they say it might be before Christmas or it might not be before Christmas, and that's the last we've heard from them. But they of course never said Christmas what year, which we should know better than to assume. There'll be another big release for Factorio, or are the devs looking at something else to do next? I don't know what they are looking at doing next. I think that they have stated, the only thing we know is what they've said, and they said that 2.1 will be the last big release for Factorio. Maybe they change their mind, maybe they start making an MMO like Cobrex wanted. Who knows? They'll announce it when they're ready, and before that it's just a mystery. Okay, so let me go back to this one. So one other option is that this build here exists on Navis instead. And then instead of doing it like this, then we build all of the level 2 modules here on Volcanus and ship those back. Because the majority of the build, the majority of the cost of a level 3 is actually coming not from the level 3 in itself, but from the green. So one of these is 5 plus 5. That's not so bad. But it's more the... So, one of these is 4 productivity modules, and 4 of these, so is each one of these is 4 of the normal ones. So it's 16 of the normal ones going here. So it's 16 times this going into that. Yeah, it's a lot. Please make space in a book for Space Age. I will once 2.1 comes out. I'm not going to do it before because there might be some changes there that would make it invalid or change some things. So, and it's also just a good opportunity to do a new fresh playthrough. But so we're waiting for 2.1 and then we'll jump in when that comes. Okay, so the idea could be that we make like a big build of just these Mark II and then ship those back to Navis and then have this build on Navis, the top part of this build, the one that deals with biters, so we don't have to transport biters. That's one option. The other option is to transport biters here. And I'm leaning a little bit towards transporting biters here. But I'm not sure I like the reason why I like that option. Probably the reason why I like that option is because I want to have a video about how to safely transport biter eggs. And... yeah, I'd like that. But we still need that because you still need on the cursed place here on Gleba. You still need it for these here. Not these, but the better ones, the overgrowth soils. What do cargo ships look like in this stage of the game? The thing is, like, this stage of the game is actually a weird question because I'm designing with Legendary now, but technically I'm designing with Legendary because I want my builds to be build with legendary, but work with rare quality components. So basically, when we build something like this, it's gonna be, this is the build when we have legendary, but you can start building it when you have rare quality, and then it'll work. It just won't work as well, but when you get better, it'll be better. So that's the idea of all these builds. But I don't want to design them for rare quality and then have them invalidated when we get to legendary quality. They'll just be less good. But I think it's a very valid question, and maybe actually something. Can you place the captive bite spawn on volcanoes? Nope. Do the ships follow that? I don't think that makes sense. Because with the build, you want it to majority run as legendary for the longest time, so you want to design it for that. And then say, okay, it's just going to perform a little bit worse when it's only rare quality. While ships are different, because they actually blow up if you didn't build them correctly. So here I have to design them towards the current tech level and go like, this is the tech level that you can expect. When you have this tech level, you should safely do that. So I think it's actually a really good point to say. And it's actually something I'd like to do, actually. So maybe, Anthony, you have you've just sort of hijacked the stream, and it's also a nice little design. Rare quality transport radar. Good.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Oops, I built the wrong place. Deleted. Hey, BMK5 Actual, thank you for the 17 months. Much appreciated. And that was, I was in doubt whether subscriptions actually worked, but thank you for that subscription. Start of the day. The subscriptions have just completely vanished off the face of the earth on this channel, and I don't know what I'm doing differently, but it's they're gone. Like look at the hype, the leaderboard. It's completely crazy, and I don't know what's different. Usually, like in January, we could say like, oh, it's January, or February we could say it's still January. So yeah. Thank you, Sujin, for the 21 months. Yeah, he made it, not feeling well, so was asleep on the start of stream. Hey, me too. Me too. Thank you, Anonymous, for 200 bits, and Silver Seal also for 200 bits. And then we can see the hype train. But the hype train tracker is being worked on, so thank you, Epic, for working on this. And probably also a little bit with Jeff and Factorio Muscularia and whoever else is working on it. Right, I wanted to make a ship.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Boop. There. Michael, thank you for the tier 2 for 81 months. And the Hagen, thank you for the tier 2 as well. Thank you. I really appreciate the tier 2. I appreciate them twice as much as a tier 1. Oh. Edge of the map. Okay, so the question is whether we should design it from scratch or we should take something that we already know. Like, the first thing I want to say about this ship is we want it to be fast. We want it to be fusion powered. We want it to be laser turrets only, and therefore only inner planets. I think that's that's the design criteria. Maybe someone here can help me with that, because I asked it on Patreon as well and got no solution. Oh, sorry, yeah. When I input the complete blueprint book in Factorio for many book, I get an error. Decompression failed. What? When I input the complete blueprints book in Factorio, blueprints book, I don't know which blueprints books it is. Is it a particular one? Like, if you have a specific... If there's one specific book that is causing a problem, then maybe write in Discord like, hey, anyone else have it when I copy this specific book? Like, is it all of the blueprints, or is it just the one, or... Is speed the be-all and all? Wouldn't you prefer it carries twice as much at 80% speed? Yeah, maybe so, but it's... That is not really the concern. You're right, like, if that's if that's where it's at. But on the other hand, you rarely need it to be full. We are going to design it with rare quality in mind, which is going to be problematic. And I think I want... Ooh, yes. Alright, so the hype train is almost activated. If anyone want to join in, everyone have a sub, they want to pitch in, then now is a good time, because we actually have a train activated. Thank you, Draco Volconi, for the 13 months.
Welcome home.
So... And Mr. Power, thank you for the Prime for 42 months. Ooh, Anonymous. Thank you. Is it 8 of these?
Proliferate.
I know I have a better design.
Our illustrious champion returns.
Too big.
Welcome home.
Like, that was a new design that I did to flatten it out. That one might also need to be updated at some point. Thank you, Ronmus, for the 5 gifties. That gets you to the top of the leaderboard for the month. And Sentinel, thank you for the Prime for 40 months. Kibbles, thank you for the Prime. Brand new Prime. Will this ship be in orbit all the time? No, then it will not. That would be kind of dumb to have a ship that's just in orbit. It's only one ship that's only in orbit all the time, and that's the space science ship. All the other ships are ships moving. It's a freighter. It freights stuff. I don't think this is the right way. Let's go. Ah, see, the Prometheum ship has this better design. Yes, that's the design I want. Okay, so that's actually on here. This is the design we want. And that's this one. And this one, this one. There. Good. It's working. DDKS, thank you for the 45 months. Very much appreciated. I don't try every book, but with blueprints like the hub or everything with wire connection to it. My guess would be I've had, or I don't know if that's the guess, but I've had issues where copied something and then for some reason some of those special characters were sort of clipped off or something, and therefore I didn't really get what I thought I got. Okay, so up front, let's just design the front independent of anything else here. How wide do we want it? We want it as slim as possible, right? That would mean we could do something like this if we want to really slim. We definitely still need the usual run around here. There. That's definitely enough. Alright, 1 minute left on the hype train. Unfortunately, the hype train tracker will not announce how much is remaining, so I'll have to do that. 9 subs to reach level 2. Can we get 9 subs to keep the train going? Okay, so let's see. We need up here. And then we need lasers. Ah, these are always so annoying, this part. Yeah? It's having enough space for inserters to put output on ship storage. Oh, that was the hype train died. Thank you for joining on the train. It's probably fine. Does it really need any more of this? I don't think so. Yeah. That's also nice. Yep. Whatever it is it's designed for, I don't know. We'll see. We'll do some testing and see how it works. The question is whether it's worth making a ship like this without also just making it for to also be able to go to Aquilo. So do you kind of need 2 different ships, or do we just go like, yeah, this is our generic mid-game freighter ship, done? With a design so that all inserters to all edges of my main bay, then put the cargo bay. Okay. See, twice as wide at Aquilo possible. Yeah, twice as wide means that it's really expensive to build. And I'm already disliking the width of this. Because it doesn't need to be this wide. What is it we want down here? Do we need anything inbound? Other than, like, this one goes outbound, but do we need anything here? The only thing would be, like, if we wanted to store ammo. But we don't store ammo. There's also the problem of, like, what do we even build out here? Like, there's nothing we really need to build. Like, we just do that, and then what's the rest of this space doing? Nothing. So I'm wondering if we could do this instead. Then we can at least kill one. Let's go one in. I don't mind this sticking out. And then just lasers down the side. I like that better. I don't know if there's any value in making another one down here, for example. I don't think there is. There will really not be that much that comes in on the side. Okay, so what are we missing here? We're missing the fuel build and the balancer. It's not like you need the asteroids for ammo. No, you just need the asteroids for fuel, so that's kind of... I'd like to do direct insertion on the side to the fuel buildings. Okay, I don't like that. Because you're getting the majority of your fuel from up here, so... That's not a good idea. Because we definitely need more here. And I don't know if anything needs to go in and out of this location. If we just look at other ships. Didn't even make a ship here. No? Weird. Okay. That also has like a nice ship feel to it, this one. But that's also... There's some weird builds here. Such a cute little ship. And the first one. There, these transport corvettes. These are the ones I'm looking for, right? Yeah, there's no interaction with the hub at all here. And this is wider because I need to also make rockets. And this is legendary, so let's... Maybe we just build this and see if we can adapt it. Because this seems pretty good, actually. I like it, but I should also like it because I built it. How do you unload stuff? What? I don't unload stuff the same way I receive it. With rockets and the launch pad. Yeah, maybe we just... That's the... This has wings to get it started. Yeah, I did extend it a little bit. This is the first version. And then found out that I needed more space. So I added more space. So I think it's this one we actually want to take. There you go. And then the whole thing has to be downgraded. Remove this. Don't want to have this part of the design. So there's one thing that I wish I had in this build that I don't have, and that's the automatic going from here into this one. But I don't think I can do that anyway. I don't think there's any way I can do that. That's what I meant. Maybe I could take this one out and get you... I think this is actually better. See, I can't put it in here because this one is blocking. Yeah. And then, of course, there has to be some kind of mechanic for a link between these so that it doesn't fill it up. Okay, so the whole thing now has to be downgraded. Still have accumulators too high quality. I want to take those out because they are stuff you add when you don't know what to put there. So let's get those out. There. Now there's nothing legendary or higher. I'm gonna upgrade everything to... Yes. And then I'm gonna figure out what didn't get updated. The rocket turrets did not get updated. The fusion reactors. And... yeah, I don't care about the cryo thingy. Well, maybe do I? I need the cryo there, so that actually might be relevant. So I add that here. So what did I say? I said this one, and the rocket turrets here. Good. Yeah, cryo plants. I don't know if I need cryo plants upgraded, but might as well. This doesn't show modules. Are modules okay? Yes, they look okay. And this, I have 39 plus 3, that's 42. 42 simultaneous landing locations. 43, I should have. So I don't know why these are here, like, except that there's room for it, but... Okay, so let's take a look at what I could improve here. First thing is, I think there are way too many laser turrets here. So I would like to actually slim it down by 2 tiles on the side. That would be something like this. These would be here. Like, that would be a start. And then the rest would be something like this. And you are also going to be... Oh, wrong way. But then the question is, does that work? Right-hand side in the direction of travel? Yes, it does work. So that goes on the inside. Perfect. So that's actually... That's a good way of cutting some space out of this. And this one gets a little bit more complicated. Well, maybe it doesn't have to be here. Does that work? Yes, still right hand side the direction of travel. Okay, so these can be... Oh, the laser turrets are not updated. Oh, weird. Alt mode. They are. Never mind. Yeah, I like this. I don't know if I need this row, but maybe I do. It's the front. That one doesn't look good. This looks better. And then it goes down here. Yeah. But I think I need... I either need to move this one up. Like this. And move the rest. Okay, but that's good enough. We know that this can be done. It's gonna be slimmer here. It looks good. I hope Niels doesn't see my question. Ha 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 ha. Best way. Don't worry, I didn't see your question. It'll gracefully allow to sort of dissipate. Oh man, I hope you feel better. I don't, but I hope I will feel better. I will survive. I hope. Okay, so this looks like we have some kind of idea for this. Yeah. Still right hand side in the direction of travel. Should still be fine, except when I'm putting in corners, which I'm not. So. Oh right, this isn't right. Yeah. So I think that's solved the front. I like it. And this one I also like. This one we have made an improvement of sorts. This is not a great place for the battery balance anymore because it, well, it can't read the color here. Can read that one? Yes. Yeah, there you go. But it's missing a light. No, missing a light. And do that. And then... yeah. Why is this... So down here... we should also look at this space and to sort of gauge whether there's something that we'd want to do different. Okay, this is an interesting... this is ice. Goes up here. Goes in there. Oh, it also combines with the other ice. Okay, so this is our excess ice goes out here. Yep. Just throw ice overboard. Always good. Yeah, I think I'll continue trimming the ship just to get that done. Yeah. Have to continue the loop. Yeah. I don't really think this one has much value. Like, do you really think that's a thing that needs to be here? Oops, wrong. Yeah. You will then be... so this becomes more difficult because this is... yeah, that'll collide with something else here. So I think I need to do this in a different way. Because this is not a good place when I have these. You will need to be down here. This would be the only place I could build it. Not even. No. Can't even build it like this. Maybe since we don't need that much, we can just say, hey, I've recognized this and we don't need more than one. Oh. Oh, then like this. And then you. There we go. Now it's really hard to argue why I should have this out here because it's reaching out so far beyond the rest of the ship size. And then the green. Okay. I like it. It's a little bit slimmer. Explosive rockets? Yes. Explosive rockets. Be able to go near the sun to build a Dyson Shore. Something a very challenging build. Yeah. Do you think it'll actually slow us down, this one, more than it'll speed us up? Yeah, this is now in line. But, well, maybe we should make the flat design here instead. Let's try and do the flat design. Like that. Yeah. Oops. No. That one gets down there. It's this one. Right? Yes. And then it's this one. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we'll figure out how to get them in here. But I do need some kind of buffer. That buffer takes a lot of space. Maybe we build a buffer here. That's a nice place to build a buffer, actually. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Damn. Can't quite do it. Because this will now not be connected. Hmm. Then it works. And I maybe just build this one out here just so it looks the same. Yeah, this is not a bad design. I like it. Okay, and then I need to see you can go in here, which will fit that one. This one will go in not the right place. But this could... Okay, what if we switch these two up? Yeah, there's no reason why we couldn't do that. That would fit better. That one. That's a really nice design. I like it. I always forget the logic pump. Yeah, I don't do logic pump. Logic pump, pump logic. Yeah, I don't think I need it here. But if I did, I could just build it in this space. Because I want it to go fast. So burn it as much as you can. Go, 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 go. And then when we're happy. I'm actually not super enthusiastic about this. Like, why are these not any beacons on them? They're super slow. On the other hand, it still produces 20 iron per second. And that's probably enough. Yeah, it's definitely enough. Yeah, okay. So this one can consume 137 liquid, and this one can produce 736 without anything. And 736 would require 34, so these 20 can easily support that one, obviously. So the intermediate step is overscaled, but from here to here is easily enough. Okay. Ooh. Well, here's a problem. Ugh. Yeah. So I found a place where it worked over here, but then it doesn't work on the other side. I mean, obviously I have space to move it, so... But do I? Because this has to merge in. I could merge in a little bit different from here. No. Well, that's actually fine. This would still work, right? Yeah, but then I'd lose the inputs. But then you can move down. There's no reason why you couldn't also move down. Okay, let's... Oh, almost enough to one more. Damn, the fact that there's 3 here, 3 here, 3 here is bad number. If only it was 4. If it was like this, then we could move the whole thing one tile even further down. And by doing that, we could get you out and do this instead. And then this would just be here. But then we have another headache. Yeah, okay, I thought that would be not a problem, but it is actually a problem. It obviously still can happen, but that's ugly. Well, seriously, do you think the devs have a vision of how the game is supposed to be played, or is the focus just on giving you many options? That's a really good question. I don't really know. Well, yeah, I think I do know, because I remember them when I talked to them for some of my earlier playthroughs, and some of the first ones, they were really shocked how I was playing it, and I was like, well, that's kind of obvious. I think that I think that their initial thought has been, we want to make an automation game that doesn't revolve around belts or trains, and then sort of work from there, and then say, okay, but it's the drones that do the work, and then you do all this stuff. And then as people were actually playing it and trying to build efficient bases and not just sort of functional bases, it would it kind of sort of made sense to start sort of abusing the throwers, and because that was kind of the only way to move things around efficiently. And I think that kind of evolved from there, that it's like, yeah. I think they have a vision, and then they've seen how people played it, and then they've adapted. Oh, if people want this, let's try to sort of lean into this. Yeah, I think so. So a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Okay, so remove the water pipe between melting ice and carbon. Melting ice. Oh, there's actually something weird. Why is this not working? Oh, like that. Melting ice and carbon. Like this one? So devs are more focused on balancing and giving players tools to design as easy as possible, I suppose. Yeah, but there are some games that where it's pretty obvious that there is a right and wrong way to play it, and the developers sort of encourage you to play this way. Like, I think Space Age versus Vanilla is a good example of the difference, where base game Factorio was very much, hey, here are some logistical tools, figure out how they fit together, and then we came up with amazing train systems and belt balances and buses and main buses and all that stuff, because we just were handed a lot of tools. Space Age, on the other hand, feels a lot more railroaded by sort of, oh, the intention is that spaceships must be self-sufficient, therefore we have invented this weird mechanic of rocket capacity, instead of just using stack size and using stack size then. But then because then they had another lever to say, oh, you're not supposed to be bringing uranium ammo to a spaceship, you're supposed to make it in space. And people were like, why? Because you have to. Now we make it really difficult and expensive for you to do it. Alright, okay, why couldn't it be an option to, if I want to make uranium bullets and ship them up every time, then why am I not allowed to do that? You want to make an ammo on a ship. Exactly. And that feels really heavy-handed. And there are lots of other examples, like the whole idea of like, I think some of the things, particularly for spaceships and the interaction between space and the planets, is needlessly complicated and super unintuitive at first, and you kind of understand why, but yeah, I don't like it still. Like, for example, you can only have one planetary one planetary thingy here, landing pad, and then go to why can't I build two? Why? Well, because then you can teleport shit. And they're like, okay, so you gave us a feature, or they probably designed the feature and then realized, oops, that's really that gives rise to some unfortunate things that people will optimize. So now they put some constraints on it, like you can only have one, and it just doesn't feel right. Like, I think it's a clumsy way of solving that and trying to sort of force us to build in a certain way. Those kind of things where, like, so suddenly you're constrained by this one item for your throughput. Why is that a good idea? Wouldn't it be cool that you could sort of bring it in different places? And I realized that because what we would do then would be have a base out here, and we would send things to space and then drop it down up here. That would be faster and easier than building a train line. yeah, then maybe that's a balancing thing. I think if I was designing space age, given sort of this is the idea we have, and make as small changes as possible to the gameplay, sort of without breaking the model too much. What would I do differently? I would basically do, if we sort of link into this part that there's one here, then there's one on a space. So every planet could have one platform that is linked up and down. Like that's how it works. There's only one platform that can drop to the ground. It's not every single spaceship. It's only one space platform. So spaceships have to dock to a spaceship, to a space platform in space. That means you actually have to build a big base, or have to build belts and mergings and stuff and docks for your spaceship. So it's like in space exploration actually. So that you have to manage the throughput that way instead of just linking it. Yeah. It's because then you build the space, you build this thing here in the orbit over Nauvis, and that's fucking it. That's it. That's all you need of a sort of a space platform that's standing still. That's the only thing you need that's standing still. Sure, it needs to be scaled up a little bit more, but it's basically like so boring. While this is one thing that's much more interesting in space exploration, that you actually build something, build a factory in space. You don't build a factory in space, you just build space casinos that might be nerfed, but you don't build factories in space really. The only factories you build in space are like ammo factory, and they become really standardized soon anyway. So I'm like, wouldn't it also be cool that spaceships could sort of get things and then bring it over to a space platform, and then on that platform you build it, then you drop it down, or I don't know, but it just, I think there's something there that's a missed opportunity.
Our illustrious champion.
Irunian, thank you for the 39 months.
Welcome home.
How do you find DSP in this aspect? I'm missing some levels for optimization in DSP. It very much just it's a throughput optimization thing, but you can't really build like proper trade lanes and dictate where they go. I fully go. Thank you for the gift sub.
Subscriber, come steel yourself. We are building an ark.
Yeah, I'm not really ready for testing this one yet, but it is sort of doing stuff. I think it actually looks pretty good, this ship. Is there anything that I would want to do different? One more. Let's use the space we have available.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Ooh, Diffuse, thank you for the 85 months. That is so nice. Thank you so much. Sucks. Thank you for the gift sub.
Praise the sub.
Is the hype train even... Oh, it is potential to be a train. Yeah, don't trust the hype train tracker. It's lying.
Champion returns. Welcome
And PJTR, thank you for the 86 months. And Anonymous for 200 bits. The hype train didn't trigger, so apparently we must still be on cooldown for the hype train. And it's just the hype train tracker that thinks that it can start. So yeah, probably a little bit too early. Yep, this is why I have begged and pleaded the dear development team to have a look at hype train tracker, because I It's the one thing that I think is different is the fact that the hype train tracker is dead, which means that, like now, fake trains will be started and missed opportunities for a potential real plan. One side platform per planet for all shipments, and cross-platform docking would be nice to work around. Yep. Okay, so... yeah, I think all of this is fine. I just need this one up here to constrain how much. 150 of each? Why is this one lighting up? Oh, because it's... yeah. Still have some legendary inserters on the ship, really? Yes, 11 of them. Interesting. Okay. Ah. Four. 3, 2, 1 more, and 0 more. There we go. Looking good. I remember platforms being cheaper to make on site, but the idea of waiting for the ship to be built tile by tile infuriates me. Yes! That's true, and that's a lot of people who go like, oh, you should build them on site. And they're like, yeah, that means I should build a spaceship that collects, sorts, stores, builds, converts into platforms to sort of build the platform itself. And then once the platform is built, then I destroy that factory and build the ship I want. Like, why would I ever do that? Like, it's so complicated. But this is... okay, I think this ship is ready to go. How much do we have on the belt? Not much. Why is the rebalancing not working? Oh, because it has to be more than 120 of them. So that one is lighting up now because... yeah, okay. Also never explained how to do the long-term platform build. Quests are automatic and simple. Yeah. I think this is good. I don't know what we're missing. They're all connected to... nope, they're not. There. Set filter. So is it correct that we want to filter everything in here? I guess so. This one should have you. Coming from... yep. Oh, right. I need this to be... when that is less than 1,000. Or maybe even 5, yeah. There we go. Now it's disabled. That's fine. Good. Now, this ship won't be able to self-start. But that's one of those things I don't really care about because it's a one-time thing, so... whatever. Good. I'm going to definitely take a save. And then let's take it for a spin. Rooting Boy, thank you for the brand new subscription of tier 2. That is so nice to see. A new subscription. It's rare. Ramming speed, yes. What is the ramming speed actually? Breeze of Factorio streams, very chill. Thank you. This one may be a little bit more chill because I barely have any voice left. Let's see. Okay, so we're up to 400 speed. That's a nice speed. Are we shooting at the right things? There is a problem here, or not a problem, but a consideration that do we really want to use explosives? Like, explosive is definitely worse. For anything except Prometheum. Prometheum we really need it, but in this case, you're only shooting at the big ones. Yeah, I know. I know you asked about it, and that's I didn't ignore it. I just filed it for later, which is now. That means ignore it. But I was thinking, like, let's see. So the argument against doing that is, but I already have this one. The difference is that it just requires more explosives and. Oh, we did? Oh, we don't have any fuel. Okay, so we do need to do some thrusting here. Thrust control. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not gas, you stop where you are. Mm-hmm. Also a little bit weird when it comes to spaceships and stuff. But let's not get into that. Need one of these, and I need one of these. No, it's actually percentage I want. There you go. So that's now a counter up to some kind of percentage. And then I can just say what percentage I want it to be active. So if I say 20, then it'll be active 20% of the time. But what is the problem? The problem is this one. And you're missing this. Because the ice is not being ejected. Woo. Okay, so that wasn't a real problem probably. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. The pump isn't... Actually, I want to take this out now. I want to see if it should be able to work here. I actually want you to stop a little bit. Go back here and stop. So let's do something different. Take this one. And then we can go up to here and then see how much we have on the belt of the various sorts. Hey, finally one of them flipped. Still have 120 on the belt. If you're gonna remove the explosive factory, maybe add an ammo production and a handful of gun turrets at the front. No, definitely not. That would be bad. That would kind of defeat the whole point of doing all of this. Like, if I was doing that, then I was gonna go all in for ammo. I'm just removing it now to see if it works. I still have 24 running around here. Needs to go down here and get pruned. Yeah, add storage space. We'll see afterwards. After we're done with this, we'll see what we want to put in there. But first we want to see that it works. Interestingly enough, these ones are shooting at the large, big metallic. I didn't think there were big metallic ones between, or big ones between Navis and Volcanus. That's just where I'm going. There shouldn't be any big ones. What am I missing? Is it? Yeah, why is it shooting when there's only... Should be shooting at big ones. Oh, this one's also shooting at medium. Ah, okay. I don't think I want that. Okay. Yeah, because it shouldn't be shooting between Navis and Volcanus. Okay. We go to Cleverlicious. And then we can go to Aquilo. And see if we're alive. Oh yeah, let's... and also... Laser turret speed. I think that's fair enough to assume that we've built this. And... rocket shooting speed. Or rocket... explosives. That's not much. This one I can definitely expect to get another... there, right? I'd also like to see if I can... make do with this one. Yeah, okay. Not right now. Oh shit, everything just blew up everywhere because I lost. Suddenly the ammo was not very good. Alright. Oh, there you go. Let's see if this works. Flying at 375. It's getting close. Okay. So that's a no. Wow. That's probably why I had these two in the first place. They make a gigantic difference. Oh, now we're actually out on the bigger stuff. Oof. These two will just be firing all the time. And that's not really a big deal that they're firing all the time. Getting close. Some of them I yeah. It's also flying at 400 kilometers per second. I mean, we're fine. We're fine. I don't know if I wanted the explosives instead, because I think the explosives are actually more healthy for this. This is... I've deliberately set it down to like the... to the lowest I would want to accept it at. So... Oh. So it's... I actually wanted to see... I wanted to sort of push it here. Hmm. 1.2. That's also another consideration, is whether we are actually over consuming this. Ugh, I'm dying here. So I want to fly back to Clever and to Aquilo again in one stretch, and then we'll see how that works. One of the front lasers doesn't have filters. That's a good point. Thank you. They start really late. It's actually more dangerous to fly towards Aquilo, because then the most intense period where we are closer to Aquilo is also where we fly the fastest. Now we increase in speed. And I also want to see, what about power? Power is not a problem at all. What about fuel? Not a problem at all. Okay. What about stockpile here? Not a problem at all. I mean, the stuff we're producing is getting out there. It's out of the belt, but it's still 1.3, so it looks healthy. And then we'll go here, wait 10 seconds and go back. Let's see if we can handle that. Happy. We'll keep looking at this. It's 1.3 still here. This is what I'm looking for. And the other one is this one, whether they are full, empty, or... Yeah. What? No, good. And then... The power will not change. So now we fly back and see how that works. Then I'd like to do the same thing, but change it over to explosive rockets to see if the explosive rockets work better. And They are deliberately on nostalgia. I have considered updating it, but I was like, what's the point? There's something cute about having the original, the OG ones. Alright, so this is now where it gets the most dangerous. Because we're flying fast and we are in the most congested area. Okay, it looks fine, I think. Okay, now there's a lot of junk coming in. Not fine! Looks... Why did I say it looks fine? Like... Okay, so definitely this doesn't work. Let's try it with explosive rockets instead. So basically the same thing, just explosive rockets instead. No, no, no. That sucks. You just put something bad on the dot. So it takes a while to delete this. We can help it by doing this. But there's also a viable option of me saying you must have at least this high level of a... Oh, I don't like the sound. A certain level here, and I'm just trying to figure out if this level is sufficient. Okay, you are starting to change. You've changed over to the reds. Good. They are just better. They may deal less damage, but the explosion is so much better. Hey, Jamjaw! Back on the subtrain. I'm so happy to see that. Repair pack for laser. We do have a repair pack. Repair pack is just really awful because they can only fix one at a time and they're super slow no matter if they are legendary. Legendary repair pack should not just have 2.5 times as much charge. They should also be 2.5 times as fast on repairing. Okay. Oh, we also need to get those explosives out now that we have removed everything else. So we need to let the explosive rockets fill up the belt. At least a little bit more. We're only 300. And we have gotten rid of... Good. This one's gone. Cool. There is another way. The easy way is this one. Actually, here's something else. Why is this one not keeping up? It's simply not getting enough of these. Or what? Yeah. Should be fine.
Our
Oh,
illustrious
now we
champions.
just don't have any of them.
Welcome home.
And OW Gossen, thank you for the 10 months. Thank you for the 10 months of Prime. Alright, 500, let's go. Let's see if it works better now. We need 2 rockets now for each of these. Because it pulverizes everything afterwards, which is really nice. Explosives are just better. Yeah. Unless it gets too close, then it's... Well, let's see when it comes back again. This is the absolute minimum laser damage you can get away with. And I would say get a little bit more than this. If you get one more, then you're really safe. Place the rocket turrets forward and have the lasers behind. But then the next part would be like, yeah, but I have the laser. I want the laser turrets to have as much time to respond as possible, and therefore I want them to. These have longer range, so yeah. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I want the stuff that has the shortest range to be up front. Because the rockets just need to shoot once at them, and then it's fine. Okay, let's have a look at how much we got on the belt. 300. Okay, so we're burning more than we have. What level laser is this? I've turned it down, but now we're at level 13, which only takes 64,000, which is nothing. So if you don't have that, then just do this. And I would definitely say just get one more level. Oh, so much more comfortable. So now, well, let's see when. Now we're getting to the halfway point where we start speeding up, and then they come in a little bit faster. Let's see if we run out of. I like this part of the game. It's just it looks cool with all the shots fired. I think this is a really fun and interesting design. Okay, so we're right at Aquilo, no problem. This one's no problem at all. No problem. There's a monumental difference between between one and the other. So, yeah. This is the one we're gonna go with. So, that answers the question from before about why explosives. This is why. You could also consider, yeah, I could, but I like this more phallus-shaped thing. Yeah. I don't think I can continue anymore. As you can hear, my voice is shot, my throat is sore. We did a good design, and I'm really happy about this. I don't think it needs much. Maybe it needs a condition for departure, but it's a really slick ship. It's not too expensive, and it's fast. So I like it. Is there anything that you guys would think would be improved on the ship, or could be, or should be improved? Unlegendary the inserters. Oh, there are some legendary stack inserters. That's odd. Why? Where? We have been using stack inserters. Oh, right, these ones, yes. That doesn't matter. That's not a... Yeah, we got rid of them. Good. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be we're going to be looking at experimental version of Timberborn, and Timberborn will be the topic of the week. And yeah, percentage counter of the thrust is still built. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah, it's still. Oh, it is still built. Yes, that doesn't need to be there since we're not using it anymore. Cool. Correct. Yeah, so sorry that we couldn't get a whole stream, but at least we got a little bit. So that I appreciate you coming along and encouraging words. And I will be back tomorrow with Timberborn. Hopefully my voice will be better. I have a meeting that lasts until half an hour before the stream starts, and it's kind of in the other part of the city. So I'll rush home, but I'll be here on time, and or maybe 5 minutes late. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the subscriptions. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, take care, and stay effective.